got to me. She said we should hook up the boyfriend and boogie. Don't know me, then look on. I'm being the clouds. Pool full of Henny, I drink and I drown.
Hey folks, welcome back to Harkey Fishing's Table Rock Fishing Report. This is Wednesday and we've made it to June the 8th or 9th, I believe now. And it's funny, I never can remember exactly what day of the month it is. It's just Wednesday, fishing day. And man, it's great to be back on a lake. The weather had a little showers this morning, but man, we've got beautiful skies behind us, a beautiful lake behind us, and a nice night for fishing. Fishing's been getting a little better, in my opinion, here lately. The night fishing's been picking up quite a bit compared to what it was. And man, that's exciting because I love getting out here at night, you know, work during the day and get to come out here at night for a few hours and you know, jerk on some fish and have some fun. And a little bit about the lake. Lake level sitting about 921.7, so it's coming down just a little bit, but very little. We're getting just enough rain and they're letting just enough water out. It's staying pretty consistent, but it is on a downward trend. It's dropping maybe an inch a day, so not much, but a little. Water temperature is sitting about 78, and so, you know, it's warming up slowly. I was looking back through my records today to see what the water temps were, and about the last 4 years, right around now, it's been around the 81 to 82 degree mark. So, you know, we're still 3 or 4 degrees cooler than normal, and I'm not going to complain, honestly. It's gosh, the temperatures have been so perfect. Me and my partner, we call this fat boy weather because it's comfortable for us big boys. But anyhow, a little bit about the fishing. The fishing has been picking up. The day fishing still pretty phenomenal. Definitely starting to see some Kentuckies piling up on primary points. I went out this weekend. In fact, I'll try to put a couple pictures in this video, and took 2 9-year-old girls out and with my wife, and we went out fishing and let them throw a drop shot quite a bit. While they were throwing a drop shot, I threw a hair jig, and I know this will sound crazy, but I've just never really fished a hair jig much. Something I saw on fishthemoment.com. If you guys haven't checked out their channel, man, that place is phenomenal. I've been watching their channel since about the time they started it, and I know Johnny's a big fan of the hair jig, and so I thought, you know, I found a large school of Kentuckies. I'm gonna throw this hair jig, and anyhow, proceeded to catch a whole lot of fish, just snapping that hair jig a couple times and letting it sink. And those Kentuckies could not resist it. As soon as it started sinking down to them, they were all over throwing a 1/2 ounce white Berkeley hair jig. And man, it was phenomenal. I could see some bigger fish under it, but I couldn't get it down to them because the Kentuckies had eaten it before it ever got to them. So I finally decided I would throw out to about 100 feet deep water. These Kentuckies were in 20 feet, and I threw out to about 100 foot deep water past all the school of Kentuckies, and I let that hair jig sink. And the bigger fish I was seeing were about 55 feet deep. And anyhow, I finally got the hair jig up there to where I was seeing those bigger fish on the live scope. And man, no more did I pull it up over the ledge of the main river channel, popped it a couple times. One of them big fish come right up and nailed it, and I could tell it was good fish. Got it to the surface, and it was 22-inch walleye, so pretty decent sized walleye. We've got some huge ones here in Table Rock, so 22 inches is definitely not huge. I would call it a kind of an average to below average walleye for this lake. But anyhow, I wasn't really there to catch walleye, but that thing was in 55 foot of water on the main lake point as well. So right off the river channel. I mean, sharp, went from 20 feet. There was a brush pile at 20 feet deep that I was really wanting to focus on. And yes, there were some Kentuckies on it, but really everything was suspended out over the main channel. And so I had a great time with that. Night fishing has been a little bit hit or miss. I mean, it's getting better, and I've hit a lot of points. I'm hitting a lot of brush piles. I'm getting a few bites out of the brush piles finally. The problem is I hadn't landed a whole lot of them. I think most of the brush pile fish are the Kentuckies getting on there right now. I haven't caught a good quality largemouth or smallmouth out of a brush pile yet. I'm sure if I spent more time out here doing it, I would, but I hadn't yet. And but I'm not going to quit trying. Guess that's a great deal starting about June, usually 1st of June. Once again, when I look back at my records, the water temperature is usually about 82 and the lake level is usually a little lower, but those fish are going to get in those brush piles. And so we tried that a little bit. We've been getting some bites. We've been catching some Kentuckies, but we hadn't caught the quality. So we've been switching it around a little and fishing channel swings on the main lake. The reason I'm hitting these main lake channel swings is because they've cranked back up the current. They had cut it down, and when they'd cut it down, I was into the creeks. Now that they're cranking the current back up, it's definitely, you know, you'll see balls of shad everywhere on the main lake, and these channel swings and main lake point channel swings even better. But any place that channel is crashing up against a bluff wall or whatnot, good chance there's going to be a pretty good stack of Kentuckys in there, and I've been catching some decent quality largemouth as well. We've used that pattern last Wednesday and last Friday. Last Wednesday we had a really not a great sack. I believe we had do we have 10.5, Doug? 10.5 pounds. I think we had 10.5, maybe 10 3/4 pounds last Wednesday. We got a 3rd place finish. You know, not bad, but we just had some good solid like 2 1/4 pounders, and then a couple just 15 inchers, and so not a bad one. We took what we learned on those bluff, you know, those channel swings and stuff. We took that into Friday night, and we kind of stuck with that, trying to expand on that and finding points that had a channel swing up against them. And honestly got really pretty lucky fishing in the Shell Knob and Campbell Point area. We found two channel swings and found 2 good fish. We caught a 3-6, and then we had a 4-6, both on tow. I mean, they're 2 miles apart, but both on that same pattern, fishing channel swings up against main lake. And so, you know, it's definitely something. Both of those fish came on a jig, by the way. They were really wanting to eat that. We were having a good bite still on the peanut butter and jelly shaky head, and like I said, that hair jig or a swim bait has worked really good on the Kentuckys. So, you know, honestly, if you're coming out here to catch fish, I would focus on those main lake points and try to find you. They're not too hard to find because we got so many bass in Table Rock. Try to find you a school of those Kentuckys because they're there. I mean, I can find them just about every 3rd or 4th point I look at. I can find a decent school of them. If you're going after quality fish, you know, you're going to have to look a little harder and find some little nuances in those points. And that's honestly kind of been the secret for this. We found some of those bigger fish in the same spots we've caught smaller fish, but they'll either be like you might find a little, heck, I think last time I found this little stairway that had been sunk underneath the dock. Saw that on the live scope, threw in there and caught that 4.5. You know, weird stuff like that, just little nuances that I've picked up on using live scope or down imaging that we fished. And so, you know, that's really been helpful. There's still a topwater bite going on in the daytime. You know, you can catch those. If it's a calm day, I'd throw a red fin or something around some of the deeper docks. The Kentuckys are really eating that good. If it's a little bit of chop on the water, I would be throwing a spook. Big Bass Bash thing, it's not the Anglers in Action. This is Strike Kings coming up, I think, this weekend, this Saturday. Hope you're going to get out and fish that. I'm actually going to be out fishing that as well. We'll see how we do. You know, I don't know what's going to go on. It's supposed to be a nice, warm, and calm day, and you know, when it's calm, you definitely can get some pretty good quality Kentucky bites off those deep docks, fishing a swim bait or a topwater, depending on the time of day. Usually, I'll use topwater first of the day and throw a swim bait by them later in the day, and man, you'll have a lot of fun catching fish. If you're going after one of them big ones, you know, like I said, just stick with it, be patient. They'll come, and they're in a lot of the same spots that the Kentuckys are at. You just gotta be patient with them. So, man, I hope you guys are getting out and getting some fishing in. I'm gonna try to tag a couple of those photos of the kids and their fish, and they had a ball. And so, you know, like I always say, take a kid fishing. If you guys hadn't already, just ring that little bell right down there. It says subscribe, and hit the like. And we appreciate all our followers. And I apologize about no fishing report last week. I actually made one, hit publish, but evidently there was a glitch in the YouTube program and it never got posted. And one of our followers saw me in town and said, "Hey, where was your fishing report last week?" And I didn't realize it didn't go through. So I apologize for that. But anyhow, you know, take a kid fishing. Y'all have fun. Keep your lines tight. Until next week, see ya.